Peloton had been a stay-at-home darling as gyms were closed for months, but it's recently been hit on multiple fronts. Disappointing earnings, another price cut on its top-selling bike, and shrinking profit margin. CNBC.com's Lauren Thomas joins us now to discuss Peloton investors' new reality, Lauren. And why do you think this is prompting such a gut check?
Sure. Well, thanks for having me, Kelly. And I think there are really a number of factors at play here. And like you said before the break, I mean, if you're a Peloton investor right now, it really is it's a good analogy to think of this as cranking up the resistance a notch or two on the bike. Essentially, what is happening here is, Peloton is still growing, but the landscape in 2021 is certainly a lot different than what it was last year. And growth was coming very easy for Peloton last year. So much so, in fact, that the company ran into a number of supply chain snafus and really had to invest in fixing that part of its business just because demand was so heightened. But now investors are really staring down this new reality. And I think what really prompted a sell-off of the stock last week was the fact that growth in the future is not going to come as profitable as it has in the past. There are a number of levers, essentially, that Peloton is having to pull on in order to keep fueling growth. And a lot of that means additional costs. So one headline last week certainly was the fact that Peloton has reduced the price of its original bike product by about $400. And a number of analysts that I spoke to said that cut actually came sooner than they anticipated and was a little bit larger than they expected. So that leaves some scratching their heads as to why Peloton is making that cut. A second factor at play here is the fact that Peloton, they need to find new pockets of growth, new customers. And in order to do that, they're really going to have to ramp up marketing expenses. I actually spoke to President William Lynch on the phone after those earnings results came out, and he told me that they're really going to lean into marketing in the next few months to really ramp up awareness of its treadmill product. As you may recall, Peloton recalled both of its treadmills earlier this year, and the less expensive version, the Tread, actually is going on sale again today. So, Peloton, for this fiscal year that just started, it is not forecasting to be profitable. It's not forecasting to be profitable again until the following fiscal year.
And and you talked to Simeon Siegel, who's been bearish on the stock for some time on valuation. He has the lowest price target on the street, around $45 a share. So even today, it was, he's right on one end of the spectrum, obviously warning that a lot was already baked into the valuation and where shares were trading. But it was also interesting to see Citi initiating Peloton today with a neutral. These initiations often come with big glamorous releases about how great these companies are. So for them to initiate with a neutral, fearing moderating growth, they say they think their colleagues have extrapolated recent strength for the next few years. And again, this speaks to certainly a change in sentiment. Maybe that's the setup for the stock to kind of reach that next level, once expectations come down, but I'm not sure if the price is there yet.
Definitely. And I think last I checked, analyst average price target on the stock is right about $130 per share. Of course, that's a bit above where it's trading at today, and I know it's down about 3%. But yeah, there are a number of things that Peloton could do, a number of catalysts that could drive future growth. One is going to be additional product launches. I think everyone's waiting to see what Peloton is going to launch next. When John Foley, the CEO, was asked about that on the earnings call last week, he held off, but there have been a number of rumors about a rowing machine potentially or additional strength equipment. So that's certainly something that could fuel sales in the future. Peloton is also continuing to launch overseas into new markets. Recently, it launched in Australia. So I think, it's a bit of a wait and see game, like you said.
Yeah, absolutely. Lauren, it's a great piece. Thanks for joining me today.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.